So, hi. Hi everybody. So my name is Marco Forlingeri. I'm responsible for the engineering topics in ASEAN, so Southeast Asia. Today I bring experience with IBM solution as a practitioner. Not just in the engineering business, because I come from engineering business. So some of the company I work with are Bombardier, Alstom, Airbus, but also from the government and digital transformation. Okay, so I've been doing in the last 10 years, been supporting several digital transformations, especially in government. And so today, together with Mr. Tiley, we will introduce the topic of test management within DevOps, as Kelvin already introduced. So I'm based in Singapore, and I am originally Italian. So please.
Okay, good afternoon, everyone. My name is Tiley. I'm the Vice President of KMS Solution, taking care of Vietnam and Asia Pacific market. And with my...
We haven't changed the presentation to showing Marco.
You hearing me?
Your screen sharing, yeah, now we can see. Okay,
yeah,
sorry.
Yeah. Okay, so back to my introduction, right? I have been working for this subway industry for more than 20 years, and I'm leading the subway project for the client-speaking country like US, Australia, Singapore, and UK, right? And in the past 3 years, I'm leading the digital transformation for the client around Asia Pacific market here. And my key focus is on how to help the client transform their digital business and how to move or adapt to the cloud, or how to manage the end-to-end quality for their software project. And I'm glad to be here today to share my experience around this transformation project, as well as the key takeaway that we would learn during this 1-hour session. And moving on to the agenda here, right? We have 1 hour today, and I will start with the basic industry revolution and how it gone through the adoption to the digital business, and how the software engineering team could adapt the CI/CD model, or what are the key questions the head of QA team or the software development team are normally asked during their software development project is around the quality management, right? And we will end up with the demo and showcase for IBM EOM, Enterprise Lifecycle Management tool, right? For the tester to see and to view their test case and how they manage the software product. Okay. So we will welcome the Q&A session and in the end. Okay. So let's start with the industry revolution, right? On the picture right now, we all know that we all go through the waterfall software development, right? This picture is very clear and very safe for everyone. The software going through the software requirement, analysis and design, development, testing, and handover for IT development team for production deployment, right? It's very clear and very safe, very clear, everyone. But one of the key thing here is, because as we build up the requirement here, we build up the assumption, right? Because on the service delivery model, right, within each an organization, we have the department. I have my role as the BA. I have my role as the technical lead, right? Each of the stage, I take a lot of time to build a requirement, build a fully functional requirement, so that I am accountable for it, right? And we need to take a lot of time to define those requirements. For example, when the client asks, hey, I need some login screen, and the BA may stop at that screen and define 100 case, 10 character, null character, right? I need to define a lot of requirement, and that assumption, the user may need those requirements. And when I move to the stage for the analysis and design, and the technical lead will come in and define more assumption. I need to design the system for more extensibility, more security, more scalability, or I need to deploy this system to multiple cloud, right? And as we move up to the stage during the software development, we build up those assumptions a lot. And until we test the system, until the user come in to do the user acceptance testing, and those assumptions going down, because at that moment, we know what we have in hand. For example, at today, how many screen it has, how many business rule it has, right? And then we release out the system. It's very clear and very safe choice for every software development team. And that is the reality that happened around the world. Then roughly 10 years ago, when it comes to agile adoption, and a lot of software team to adopt kind of agile practice, I have Scrum practice, I have Kanban practice, I have experience XP development practice, right? And the team, they say they practice agile practice, but this after each 2 to 3 weeks software development cycle, right? The application may or may not go through the production, and in the end, it still take a very long time for the software to really deploy to production environment. So that is the reality that I have been seeing around the world. And here is the picture that I'm seeing, the pattern for the big enterprise, right? Because they need to control the quality, they need to control what they deploy into the system, right? They may have the PMO and finance to do some study and approval, right? It may take 1 or 2 months for this review and approval, and then move into the PMO for the design planning. Are my resources available? How I can design the system, right? And then one is approved through the PMO, and we can launch multiple agile team to do the software development in parallel, right? And then it moved into the QA department state. The flexibility is there, but the problem for this is we still go into the phase gate approval, and the software is still taking a very long time to reach out into the production system. And my reality, I'm seeing those symptoms, right? The symptom that I'm seeing is there are small team practicing Scrum. Each of the team, they may excellent in their pocket, but from end-to-end flow, it's not really efficient, right? It takes a lot of time for the user to take the value of the system. After those deployment, right, it may hidden inside the system. The user may not see it until someone release. So come into the modern days, what are the modern CI/CD practice or the Agile DevOps practice that I'm suggesting here is we hear a lot about the CI/CD, continuous integration, continuous deployment, and continuous delivery. The key point here is we need to automate end-to-end flow with a lot of automation, from check-in, trigger the automation unit test flow, trigger the integration test flow, trigger the deployment flow, and trigger those automation flow. But the only decision make manual is that the human, the person will need to make the decision, whether it's the product manager, whether it's the marketing manager, whether it's the VP, right, need to approve on the system so that those feature, the new feature will reach to the end user. And the key here is how we can manage those quality in each of the steps. How can I manage the requirement? How can I manage the unit test? How I can manage the test result into the system so that when it comes to the final approval, everything is shown there, is on a dashboard, and then everyone is saying, okay, we are going through all of the system tests, and it should pass on the quality gate. So the end-to-end quality management is the key here. So when we jump into the continuous delivery pipeline, we see many checkpoints in between, right? We need to version control everything from requirement to test case to coding to deployment package, and also to the database configuration as well. And the key differentiator for the efficient team is we need to do a lot of automation testing, right? I see a lot of the team, they say, hey, I have the agile practice, but in the end, that team has a lot of manual testing, a lot of manual deployment, and it creates a bottleneck in the end-to-end flow. So on the right-hand side, we see that we need to manage everything from requirement workflow, testing workflow, and system design workflow. And in the scope of this webinar, where we zoom into the IBM test management tool, right? And Marco will focus more on the test management and how the development team can manage the quality from end to end. And with that, I hand over the flow to Marco. Can you continue with the IBM tool?
Thank you very much, Tylee. So I will share my screen now. I will take over, and I guess we can continue. Yeah, so as Mr. Tylee, thank you very much, first of all, for the introduction and for sharing a bit of your experience today. And yes, so test management, we talk about automation, we talk about continuous integration, continuous development, and delivery. So this is basically a very important topic for your organization. And today we have many, and we will have more and more organization going to this direction. However, test management, it's an important pillar of that, because the quality aspect, especially for institutions, but not only, like banks, financial institution, it's key and primary, okay? So we don't just want to meet and ensure the quality, we also want to improve the productivity, we want to improve the efficiency. And that's why we have, we need to invest, and we need to be sure that we have a center of excellence in our company for test management practices, okay? Of course, we also need that for the development practices, but many banks, as we know, also outsource the applications, the development. However, they have to keep the quality assurance function inside. So it's a function that belongs to the banks, if we talk about banks, but this can be extended also to other institutions and company and organization. So it's really key to focus on the test management aspect. Now, if we say test management with IBM solution, what are we talking about? Okay, so first of all, everything will start from the requirements, okay? Because either you call them requirements or you call them features or user stories. So we need to start with requirements, okay? So if we don't have requirements, user acceptance requirements, stakeholder requirements, system requirement, business requirements, or feature, so it would be very difficult to test and develop things, right? Because it's the starting point of everything, okay? So today you will see how we can, in a very light way, not intrusive way, manage requirements. Everybody actually can do it with the DNG, even kids, I would say. And we will see how to do that in a very light way. We're not talking about engineering requirements, big organization that to manage thousands of requirements. Today we focus more on the agile way of dealing with requirements, okay? And a linear approach for requirements. So after we have the requirement, then you need to, there is a stream that is going to develop, is going to implement the requirements, and there is a stream that in parallel doing the implementation is going to do the testing, okay? And that's why we have test management solution that you will see today. With test management, we can cover the planning of the test plans, the test cases, understanding what needs to be tested, and which are the deadlines that we have, so the schedule of the testing, and so on. Then we have the construction of the testing, where we are going to construct the test. We will see later. So the test cases, the test script, which kind of automation tool are we going to use and link to the test management solution. And of course, the execution part of the testing, triggering centrally the execution. Doesn't matter which tool you are using. We can trigger centrally this type of execution with any tools, okay? Then we have the two important aspects that they go along the entire test management activity. The collaboration aspect, because you don't have one tester, you're usually multiple testers that need to collaborate within a test plan. And the reporting and dashboard. You want to see what you are testing. You want to live see how your testing activity are going. This for both the tester but at the same time also for the manager, right? And the reporting, because at the end of the day, we need to produce reports, we need to produce documentation, and we still need these documents, but as output of all these automated activities. Now, another important aspect that I mentioned during the collaboration is the change and defect management. So if a test fails, or you want to raise a defect, if there is a change in, I would say, or if you want to trigger an activity, a task, and to assign this task to somebody in the team, you need to have a proper application to do that. And within the IBM platform, we have the application. It's called Engineering Workflow Management. That does much more than that, like source code management, triggers the build, change and configuration manager. However, for today, we'll just limit to explore this application on the defect and task management part. And then the platform is not a standalone platform. So the platform is integrated through open interface with different testing solutions. Today, we are going to see Katalon. Katalon is the testing tool of KMS, okay? Widely used in Southeast Asia and not only. And we will see how we can do functional testing using Katalon. But the same logic, the same principle could be applied with any type of tools, because we can integrate to the powerful command line adapter with any type of testing tools, okay? And at the end of the day, why are we doing this? Okay, of course, we want to implement the DevOps practices, but not just DevOps. Okay, we want to maybe improve the test manager. We want to reach compliances. And to do that, we need visibility. So we need to be sure that the risk, the priority, the defects are available to everybody in the team. Okay, we need traceability for compliance. We want to prove that the requirements have been tested and validated and the requirement passed. We want to have the report attached to it. We want to have accuracy of the data that we test. We don't want to have the documentation spreads everywhere, like the test plan as a Word document, the test case as Excel sheets, working 3-4 different environments with the testing tools. And what about consolidating everything together? No, we will lose accuracy, we lose efficiency. Transparency is very important as well. You can see it through the dashboard and through the different possibilities that we have. Where do we have a bottleneck? Where do we have a problem in the testing activity? And at the end of the day, all companies do this for time to value. Okay, we want to be more productive. We want to ensure the quality that we must ensure every time, and at the same time, ensure the productivity, improve the productivity. Okay, and automate all these tasks that are usually doing manually but can be automated. Now, said that, test management is a key practices of DevOps. Today, the demonstration that I will show you will focus on the test management part, okay, of the DevOps, a key pillar of the DevOps practices. So let's start. So the first step, I will show you now how to plan the testing activity. And for plan, I mean how to analyze the requirements, how to visualize the requirements, how to create a task to implement such requirement or to test this requirement, and assign the task to an individual in your team. I will show you how you say, but we work with Excel and we have test plan in Excel or in Word. No problem. You don't need to redo everything manually. I can show you the add-in function to Excel or Word. We can import your test plan, your test cases inside. That's a part of your documentation inside the platform. Okay, that will be the first part, the planning. Then we'll go into the construction of the test. So we will basically, after we import the test plan, the test cases, we will link the test plan to the requirements. We say, okay, this plan is linked to these requirements. And then we are going to link the single requirements inside our collection of requirement features with the test cases, okay, to ensure this traceability that for compliance is very important. And then we are going to the automation part. So we will use Katalon, as I said. We create test scripting in Katalon. Today, with a simple example, we will go into a fictional bank that I created. So you will see, and we will be able to test some of the functionality of the main page of the bank. And then we are able to create a script by recording the screen automatically, thanks to Katalon. And we'll bring back this script, we'll link this script, test script from Katalon, with our test cases in ITM, okay? So this is all the part of planning and construction. The third part is the execution part. So in the execution part, we start to execute the test cases that we just created with the related test script. We will execute them from ETM, the engineering test management solution of IBM, and we'll trigger them in Katalon, okay? It doesn't matter what Katalon is, so where is your test environment, okay? Because it can be triggered always centrally from ETM. We will execute one single test cases, we'll execute a test suite, so you don't need to wait and execute test case by test cases. And then we will analyze the execution records. What happened when we get back the reports in the test management solution from the automated solution. Finally, we will raise defect in both in our ELM platform with our test and defect management solution, and also I will show you how this can be done with Jira, because as I said, our solution is open and can be very well linked with Jira. Last but not least, the closure of the test include the reporting and the export of the documentation. We will show you how we can monitor the test activity through the dashboard, and how we can generate reports and documents out of all of these that we have created, okay? So let's start the journey now. First step, plan the testing activity, okay? So that would be the first part. Now, let me share the environment. Okay, so we are now in the requirement management tool of IBM engineering solution. So here, as you can see, you can see from here that we are in the requirement management because it's written here, right? So, but the platform will look always the same. You don't even notice that you are moving from one application to the other. So let's open now this Godfather Bank's website requirement. So I created a bank. I call it Godfather. So for two reasons. Why? Because I'm Italian, and Godfather is one of my favorite movies. Second, because when I was a child, I was used to ask money to my godfather, no? So that's why I call it Godfather Bank, okay? So this is where we have the requirements, okay? So we can see here that these requirements that in this case has been imported. So I will not show for a matter of time, but this requirement here can be imported as well. So import artifact. So you can import the requirement from a text document, a CSV data, okay? Just to show you. I will show you how to import test plan and test case later. The requirements to save some time, I already have it here displayed, okay? So they are features in our case, and you can see different requirements. So let's take one example of requirement. We have this requirement with the proper ID, and we are saying that the website page for trading, so the page of the bank, should ensure that the sign up button works correctly and takes the user to the public.com website, okay? So that's the requirement that we have. And we need to test this requirement, for example. So how are we going to do that? So first of all, the team will create a task to implement this requirement, to test this requirement. So what we are going to do here, we are going to click, add link, and we are going to create a task. The task that we are going to create, we can select the existing task. Let's say that you want to reuse an existing task that's been already created by your team member, but you don't have this task because you can see here these is not available. So what we are going to do, we are going to create a new task. We create a new task and we say is a task, so we can decide the type of it, and then we can call the task like verify the online trading. We can say functions of the website. Bank, of the bank website. Let's put it like this, of the bank website. Okay, so we have created a task. We can assign the task to a specific plan that we already created up front, and we can say that is assigned to IBM. Okay, I assign the task to myself, and I want to do it today. So the task is coming today. Okay, 28th of March. So now we have created a task, and here will appear the task. Okay, so now now you can redo this and select for each requirement, okay? You could go here and for each requirement that are associated to this task, you can select them. Another option to do it, you go to the task. Now we are inside another application of IBM. It's called Engineering Workflow Management, as you can see. And now what we're going to do, we're going to do to the links. So this is the task that I just created. I could assign more information to my task, like the priority, and the estimate, how long will take, the due date already assigned. And what I'm going to do, I'm going to the link. The link, we see that there is already a link. And it says that this task implement this requirement because we just created a link together. Now, instead of doing from the table, I want to create additional links to other requirements that I need to implement and that belong to this task. What I'm going to do, I'm going to say here, add implement requirements. I will search for this requirement and say, yes, I want to link to existing requirement. I don't want to create a requirement here. I could, but I don't want. And now you have all the requirements that I can link. So I start to take the trading requirements and I start to link them. Now they are all of them linked to my task, okay? Now if we go back, if we go to one of them, one of the requirements, so first we need to save, very important, otherwise we lost, we save, and then we go to the requirement, and we will see now that we have our requirement that have been we have created. So we will go to the collection, and we can see that now the task is not just for the my requirement that I created, the 669, but also I added for the others. Okay, you could add from here or from the task itself. Okay, now the task is created, and we know that we can implement. We need to implement this requirement. We need to verify this requirement, and we need a test plan, probably, that implement, that verify and validate all these requirements that we have here. And specifically, we need some test cases that validate this requirement. Okay. So what we are going to do now, we are going to import a test plan from an Excel sheet. How are we going to do that? Okay. We are still in the first step. So what we are going to do now, we are still not in the test management application. I didn't show yet the test management application, okay? So now this is a template that I have, and here I have it's from Excel, right? So I have here my test plan, and the title of the plan, Online Trading Bank. There is the test architect, it's me. Then I have some business objective of the test plan, some entrance criteria, exit criteria of the test plan, and here, very important, I have my test cases. I fill some information of my test case. I could have much more information, okay? Just to have a simple example for today, here we can see that we have some test cases, like verify navigation menu for trading, verify sign up button for training. This is very important, this test case, because it verifies the requirement that I just mentioned, okay? Now, how do we do that? We want to import this, okay? Very easy. So we have a macro, an add-in function in Excel that is built. So we say ETM here, export to repository. So we are now going to log in from Excel, this link, to my credential, valid, perfect. Now I'm going to select the project where I want to import. And the project is MTM testing, okay, money that matter. Now I select it and I just say export. Now it's exporting the requirement, completed successfully, done. Let's have a look what happened in the requirement. So now we go to the testing tool. So the testing tool, we go here to our IBM MTM testing. You have all the projects. And let's see what happened. Let's browse the plan, browse test plan. Okay, there is a plan here. Okay, so this is Online Trading Bank. We say, it's the plan that I just created. So let's click on, you see, created now, March 28, so 1:32 p.m. Singapore time, okay? So now I will click on it, and I will see that this plan has the test cases first, okay? So these are my test cases that I just imported, 1, 2, 3, and 4, okay? And here also there are some other attributes that you want to see. And if we see here, we have we have the test cases, and if we click one of the test cases, maybe this one, we are now inside the test case that belong to the test plan, and we can see some information like test case to be automated in Katalon. We have precondition, the website is loaded, and so this information that you read here have been imported directly from the Excel, okay, from this interface that we have. Now, After we have imported the test plan and the test cases, the first step is completed, the planning part is completed, and now we need to go to the step 2, okay? So let's go back to our presentation to remind ourselves which was the step 2, okay? Construct the test cases, the test script, and the test suite, okay? So what we are going to do now, we are going to analyze the test plan that we have just created. We are just to add some element to the test plan, like the test environment, for example, or we can add much more things. We are going to link the test plan to the requirements, and we are going to link each test cases that we have created with the related requirements, okay? For simplicity, we'll link just one test case, but we can link more, okay? After we do that, we go in the most important part, I would say, because we have to construct the test. So we go into our Katalon tools, and we are going to create a script that then we will link to the test management solution in order to be able in step 3 to execute, okay? So let's go now back to our demonstration environment. Sorry, okay. Now let's go to the test plan that we just created. So here is our test plan. So the test plan we just created is this. Now we see the test plan, very good. And we are going to see that the test plan can have a summary. So we can assign the test plan to certain release, okay? So here we can decide which release you want to assign the plan. We can have test objectives, but very important, we have the requirement collection link. So we want to link the collection of requirement to the test plan, okay? So what we are going to do now, we are linking the requirements to the test plan, okay? So we can do it from here. So we can link the requirements from here, but actually I prefer to do it from the requirement management tool, okay? And you will see why. So if we go back now to the requirement, so this is our test plan. Now we are linking this test plan to the requirement, okay? So we go back now to our plan. And here I would like to link this with my existing requirements, okay? So what we are going to do, we are going to create a new table. So we want to say validated by, because we want to link this to test plan. And we see one is already linked, you see? So you already have a link before a test plan. And now we want to link a second test plan, the test plan that I just created, to our requirement collection, okay? Our feature, we have the link, and we can link this online trading, okay? So we can link, okay, and now we have two. It means now we associate the test plan that we just import. In this case, we have two test plans associated with the requirements, okay? Now we need to do the second thing. We need to add the test cases that we have just created to the requirements. So we go back to our requirements, and now there is validated by also for the requirements. So what we are going to do, we are going to take this 669 requirements, validated by, add link, and we are going to check which is the requirement that we want to validate. I think it's this verify sign up button for trading, okay? So created 5 minutes ago. So I want to add this. I could also add others, okay? Now, as I did before, I had other link. Now, for simplicity, we add just one link. Now, what we did, we established the traceability. If we go to the test case that we just created, we will see that the test case has a requirement link. And this is exactly the requirement that we created. So it's really important. You can see the things from the requirement management tool, from the test management tool. It's independent because the link is created just once, so you can visualize here, okay? Now, what I want to do, I also want to assign a task, okay? So I want to assign to my task that I created before some test cases that I need to execute, okay? So I go back here, and now I go back to my task that I just created, okay? I just take one because it's always the same, repeated for different requirements. And now I create the links. I already have the requirement link, but I want to say, okay, the traceability with the requirement, the task is established, but now I want to have this task as me, as a person, as a tester. I want to know which test cases I need to execute, okay? So what I can do, I can link here, not just the requirement, but tested by test cases, okay? So we can link, for example, our 1, 2, 3, and 4. All the test cases that are associated with this task, okay? We save, and now we have also, we know that this person that has got this task needs to validate these requirements and needs to execute these test cases. But who is this person, okay? The person is IBM, okay? So the user is called IBM. And how does this person knows that he needs to do this task? Let's go to the dashboard of the individual, IBM dashboard. So in the IBM dashboard here, I go to my task, and I can see here there is a new task that's coming, okay? Verifying the online function of the bank website that I just created, okay? So I know that these are the open tasks assigned to me, and these have other metrics that we will see later, like defect affected by test cases, but we're not going to have a look at this now. We'll look at this later. What we can see here is that we have now the task created, and if we click on the task, is exactly the task that we just created, okay? So I know as a user that I need to do this activity, okay? Now, we need to build the test. We have test cases, and we need to build our, construct our test, okay? So let's go back now to our testing application. So we just click on the test cases that we want to test. This verify sign up button for trading, very good. So we want now to test these test cases. We want to create, before testing, we need to construct these test cases. So what we are going to do, we are going to go to Katalon, okay? Katalon is our automation application. And what we are going to do in Katalon, we are going to create a test case in Katalon, okay? But this is it's just a matter of terminology. In reality, what we are going to do, we are creating a test script if we use the IBM terminology, okay? So we create one, and we can call it verify link to link button. Let's put like this, link button to the online trading page, okay? Verify link button to the online trading page. Okay, created, and now we are going to record the screen in order to get the script automatically. I don't want to script it, I want to get it from screen recording. So what we are going to do, we are going to record from web. Now I created my own web page, I save it in my PC, okay? So that's why you will see, but you can have any type of URL here, okay? So let's have a look, let's start to record. Let's see what's happening. So what do we need to do? I need to verify that the link button of the online trading page is working, okay? So I start recording. I go to my page, Godfather Banks, as you can see, and I want to see that this is working. First, maybe I want to see that this is really there, right? So I want to right click, and I want to say, verify element that is present, okay? And after I verify that the element is present, I want to click and see where I go. Yes, I am linked now to the online trading page, okay? Very good. Now I'm going to stop, and I'm going to save my script. Okay, so my script is saved. It's here, as you can see now. So I have the steps. So button sign on, verify element present, click, close the browser, okay? So now what we are going to do, we are going to take this, we are going to copy, we rename. It's a really important step now. We need to be sure that the naming convention that we use is the same. We're going to copy the test here, the name of our test cases, and we go back to ETM. Here we have to build a test script. You see, test script here. We don't have test script, okay? We need to build a test script for our test case. So we are going to construct here a test script. We are going to create a test script. And it's important that the name of the test script is the same as in Katalon. So we copy, right? Now we save it. Before saving, we are saying that how do we want to execute this test? Through command line adapter, okay? Because Katalon can be linked to the command line adapter like any testing tool to the ETM, okay? There are also other native integration, but in this case, we are going to use the command line adapter, okay? So we adapter, and now we want to assign the adapter, okay, in order to be able to enable the script. So we click, and we see here that we have like the Katalon is the adapter that we are going to use is working, very good. Now we are going to write here the path. So the path that we are going to write is, I think I should remember by heart. Let's see if it works. If not, I have to search, but it should work. Test is where I have the information saved in my folder. Let's see if it works. Otherwise, I will copy and paste. So yes, it found it. So smart batch file. Now I'm going to design the path where I save my script. And this is a smart batch file. It means that you don't need to define the batch file for every test, okay? So you define it once in a smart way. That's why I call it a smart batch file. And then it works for all the tests that you create in Katalon. And if you do it for another tool, for the other tool as well. We finish. Now we have created our test script, and we save it. Now, this test script, we need to associate it to the test case, okay? So what we do, we go back to our test case. In this case, we browse the test cases that we need. So we say here, we want to see okay, I need to relog. Sometimes you need to relog. Now I want to see the sign up, these test cases. We click on the test cases, and we add now here the test script that we just created, okay? So we add the test script, verify link button to online, very good. We add and close. Then we save. Now, what I'm going to do, I'm going now to finish this step because this step has been constructed, okay? So the test case has been constructed, and now after I do this, I need to start the execution, okay? But before I do this, let me go back to the presentation. And we are execute test cases and test suite from ETM into Katalon, okay? So what we are going to do now, we are going to execute this single test case that I created. Later, we'll execute the test suite. While I execute the test suite, it takes some minutes. We can already raise some questions, so the time we wait. And then we'll analyze the test execution record and we'll raise the defect in ELM and in Jira very quickly, okay? So let's go back to our environment. So now what we are going to do, we need to execute the test that we just created. How do we execute the test? Here, we just click from ETM. We say run. Here we need to select the test plan. So we can say online because we didn't associate the test to the test plan, okay? So in this case, specific case, yes, we want to associate to this test plan. We want to say test environment is unassigned. Okay, let me do the following. I want to, let me create first the test environment for the test plan because it's very important step and I can do it also from here, but I want quickly to show you how to do. So we go back to our test plan, okay? And now we want to create the test environment, or if it's already created, assign the test environment to our test, okay? So we go to test environment. It's really important. You want to know in which environment you want to run the test. And now we say, we want to run the test in this and in Chrome, okay? Let's select the two. Now we have selected the environment and we can save. Now let's go back to the test cases. We want to execute these test cases. So we click the test cases. Now we can execute the same test case that I want to execute. You see, we have already the verify, but the script. Now I can assign the environment. I can say Windows. If I design the test plan here, I can choose only the two, okay? So I say Firefox, and then I want to say which machine. Okay, for the moment it's fine. I can start the execution because no record has been created. So now what is happening? If we can see now is starting, and now is the adapter. It say the created command line adapter. It's in progress. So the test is starting. And probably you will not see it open the browser because it's really fast, okay? But actually it's directly redoing the steps that we did it manually. And it's going to test if, you see, okay, you can see it actually, see? It's going to test automatically, you see? And it's going to test that the link, it works. Perfect, he did it, very good. So now I'm going to, it will take some time because it's creating the report, okay? So that's why we are now updating to see if everything happened here. So you see, so the command line adapter, so it's still in progress. So actually passed, okay? So you see the test passed. And now we go and we want to see the result. It say that it's passed. Now we say show results. Again, we execute this from the test management application, right? In Katalon. Now we can see that the test passed. And we have here the report. This is the same report that is created in Katalon, is automatically visualized and can be downloaded here, okay? So we click and we see that the test passed. And here we can see all the steps that the test passed, okay? So we can see the different steps of our report and so on and so forth. This is automatically in ETM. Now, what we are going to do, let's go to run the same test, but for another environment. And this environment, I will make it fail, okay? So let's see what happens if we make the test fail. So let me go to the same test. I want to rerun the test, okay? If I want, I could do it from here. But again, we go back to our test cases, construction, and we want to go to our test cases that we just created. So here I want to see them from descending, and here is our, this one, the first, right? So created 5 minutes ago. Now I want to rerun the test cases, run. This time I want to do with a new text execution record. I want to change the environment. So I want to still do it with the same plan, but I want to change, I want to do it in Chrome, okay? Now it should fail because I set up in a way that Chrome doesn't open. Now let's start to see, it should fail because it should not be able to open the browser and the test should fail, okay? Because there is a problem in the environment, okay? Why we do that? Because if you remember, so I want to start and raise a defect, okay? So it's going here and you see that the other test is started here. And now I want to go back to my presentation. So what we are going to do now, I need to erase a defect, okay? So I will erase a defect and then I will execute the test suite. While we execute the test suite, we are already at the end of the demo and we can start with the questions. And then after the test suite is executed, I will show you the dashboard and the report that you can extract, okay? So let's see where we are now with our, so let's see what's happening. So failed, you see, as expected, failed. Now the test failed, show the result, it failed, and the report can tell what happened, okay? So if we open the report, it will tell us what happened. And it said, probably as I told you, that it could not open the browser, okay? So the test failed because open the browser failed, you see? So it's not possible, unable to open the browser, okay? So that's, now we want to raise this defect because we want to fix the environment, okay? What we are going to do, we are going to the defect. And we are going here, right? We are on the fail, the test just failed. And we are going to say here, link to an existing defect, but you want to raise a new defect. So you say create new defect. And I can do it in Jira. Let's say that first I want to do it in Jira because I also have the possibility to do it in the IBM solution, but I want to do it in Jira because this team that is working on the trading page, it's a separate team. and he prefers to use Jira. Why? The main team is using the IBM solution. No problem at all. We are flexible, okay? So we say, okay, and now we are in Jira. You see, this is the interface. For those of you that know Jira, this is the Jira interface. I can say I want to create a bug. I already have autofill with some information, the description coming from the test that failed. I can add information here. I can say an assign to me. I could add the epic, the sprint, everything, and I'm going to create now. And I have now here the Jira link, okay? So directly in my IBM tools, I'm going to save first. And now if I go to this Jira link, I will go now in my link, the defect, and I have all my information linked. Affect the plan, affect the requirement, I affect the test result, affect the test cases, okay? With one link, we have created all the traceability back in Jira. Now, the same things, okay, later can be done with EWM, okay? The same things. Now, of course, you can do with Jira, but we recommend to do with our EWM solution, there is a defect, because the defect will stay in the platform, will be managed by the platform. And of course, there are other advantages that you are interested in listening to them. I can mention, we can have separate discussion, okay? So anyway, you see, integrated with the Jira. Now the defect, the bug is created from ETM in Jira. And I can go from here back to my test cases and back to my test result, okay? I am back now in ETM, directly from Jira, to my test that failed. Now, last steps, I'm going to create the test suite, okay? Actually, I already have created a test suite. So let's see here. We have a test suite already created. So I will use this website, my main page. And here I already have a test. I have some test cases, 1, 2, 3, and 4, okay? And I'm going to run now this test suite, okay? So I'm going to run from here the test suite, because I don't want to do test by test. I want to do something else, and I want to schedule a test suite. Okay, you will see you can schedule, you can run it at any time. So here I want to run all my test cases, okay? So I'm running everything. I can say test environment Firefox already assigned in the design of the test case. And I can say now finish, okay? Now my test case is the suite is starting to run, okay? And you can see here that it's starting to run. Each time a test is completed, a test is executed, a new one will appear here until we have 4, okay? Now, while we wait for this suite to execute, let's go to some question. Let's see if there is some question from the audience. Can you help me, Kelvin? Any question from the audience?
Yep, sure. So we have a few there. Thanks, Marco, for the demo so far. So basically, the first question from Vanessa asking about some customer references that we may have in the region. So like I was elaborating in the chat as well. So I mean, of course, we got plenty of customers, utilizing, leveraging our ELM platform. But also specifically, some of them have also only purchased our ETM, our test management solution, in the question today here, just for various a couple of reasons. So we have for now we cannot actually name the customers because we signed an NDA with them, but actually we have a bank in Thailand whereby they migrated from the older test platform that they have and into our ETM platform, simply because it provides better usability, and also in terms of the comprehensive features that we can provide as well, right? So the bank in Thailand have actually about 200 over testers in a team, so it's actually quite relatively speaking a big size team for the banking QA department to basically adopt our test management solution for the enterprise. And we also have one customer in Malaysia as well, who adopted our solution here simply because they were getting audited by the central bank, right? So they needed to show compliance to the central bank's requirement for them to comply, and to show traceability, and to show that they're actually using proper tools and methodology when it comes to their software testing efforts. So they actually embrace our solution here in order to comply with the central bank regulation. Yeah. So I hope that answered the question for some of the customer references and use cases that we have. proven success stories that we have in the region here. Yeah.
Thank
So,
you.
Marco, want to go back to your demo? Yeah, sure.
Yeah, still running here the test suite. Okay, you can see that just to give you update information about the status of our test suite, we see that the 2 out of 3 or 2 out of 4 have been completed, both passed, very good. So maybe nothing is going to fail this time, or maybe something will fail. So let's see. Exactly. So one it failed now. The third one failed. Now the last test is being executed. You see, and now we can do other things. Now we can go to drink a coffee. We can chat with our colleagues. We can focus on other tasks, attend meetings. Okay, while the software and is working for us. Okay, while IBM is working for us. Now we just need maybe some seconds to conclude the last. Before I go into showing the result of the test suite, maybe I would like to ask you 5 more minutes. I need 5 more minutes and of your time. And if those that can stay 5 more minutes, you will see the complete demo. Otherwise, if you have to leave, you can leave. But you can see now is the best part of the demo. So we can see that the entire test suite has been executed. I want to close and show the results. And now I can see all my result of my, I want to see, let's say, what happened, okay? And the result details here. And now I see that 2 passed and 3 passed and 1 failed. Now I want to see that one that failed, because those that passed doesn't interest me, okay? I go to failed, and I see what happened here. I want to see exactly what happened, and I will go again to my report first. I will open my report, and I will see that one failed, okay? Here you can see that this passed, very good. This passed, very good. This passed, but then something happened here. Let's see what happened. Basically, the test case, just to explain you, I was a test case verified that the online trading section is in the main page. So it wanted to verify that there was a section in the main page for online trading. Let's see. He said that the actual, the expected online trading test object is not in the main page. There is only checking account. And it reports to me the screenshot directly, showing me that there is a checking account. You see, there's no trading in the main page. Okay, and this is also you can see. And now that I know which is the problem of my test, I can raise the defect. But this time, this team that is working on this test suite are not working with Jira, are working with the IBM solution. So I'm going to create a new defect here, not in Jira, but in IBM, you see, inside our platform. And again, defect, and I can start to assign the severity. I can say major, normal in this case. I can assign sprint where has been found. I can say owned, I would say by Marco in this case, priority, medium, planned for product backlog. And now I can say, okay. So, okay, I need to, okay, I need to fade again. It's a mandatory, you see, very important. If you don't fill everything, you see, I need to fill which plan is related to, right? So I need to fill it, otherwise I cannot save it, okay? Very important for accuracy, for quality. Now I'm going to save, and I've been created my, now it's not in Jira anymore, right? But it's in the IBM. If we can click, we can see that now is in the IBM, and we have the same links, right? So we have the requirement link, the test case, but now it's managing the IBM platform, okay? So two teams, two plans of two different teams can work with the same platform. So now, after we do that last part, just quickly to show you what happened. So we go to the presentation, last steps, how we can monitor testing activities and results via dashboard and generate reports and documents, okay? So basically, we go back to our environment. We can see what has been doing now with we go to the project dashboard and team planning. And we can see here there is planning. Sorry, not, I want to go to, okay, just 1 second. I want to go to the other dashboard. I just mistaken the dashboard, sorry. Now I'm in my dashboard. Planning, I want to see what's happening. First, I can see here that these are the requirements that have a test cases, 52%, but there are a lot of requirements without test cases. So we need to increase, and we need to have increase this test coverage, right? So I can see for different plans here. Here I can see also the detail, the requirement to which test cases are traced. Here I can see the test environment that I have, the region change that I made, okay? So all this information can be shown here. We have the execution. We can see what has been executed, okay? So verify that the service section in display, so all the execution information can be executed here, as well as the defect, okay? So the defect that we have created here, for example, are shown here, all the defects. And you can see per users, how Marco has 2 defects and Bob has 2 defects. Here we can see the number of, sorry, this is the defect ready for regression test. These are the old defects. Marco has 17, also the latest I assigned to Marco. And we can create more dashboards. Here I just created one where I want to see all the traceability from test plan, from test cases, requirement, test result, and to have a quick view that the test passed or failed, okay? So all this information can be visualized in the dashboard live, what we just did. Last but not least, I need the documents, because still we need to print these documents sometime. So how can I do that? How can I print my test plan with my test cases? So I go with my browser to my test plan, okay? So I will select the test plan online at Trading Bank, or I can select a previous test plan that I already created. So let's select previous one. And we say export to PDF. So we export the details. Now let's export the details of our test, because we just created. Let's do it live, okay? So we go to our test plan that we created, export details. You can just export the summary or much more things, okay? Also, the report can be customized. Now, is exporting. It will take a minute to export, you see. Here, if you want to see another export that I did yesterday, preparing the demo at 4:51 p.m., you could see actually, in the meantime, that we open the new, okay? So we are going to see this first that we created yesterday as an export from the test plan. And here we have 19 pages where we can see the test plan, the different test cases that belong to the plan, the different execution record, the test suites that we have. And then we can go in each test cases. And for each test case, we have the traceability and each description, right? So all this information can be exported. And also this, I don't have time today, but can be customized. You can show the things in the way you want, okay? This is just the out-of-the-box function for PDF export. Let's see where we are. 29 is taking some time. It's taking some time because, you know, the report, you don't need to do it every day. So that's why it's, so let's 39%. Okay, since we are waiting, I think let's ask a couple of more. If there, let's see if there is one or two more questions from the audience in the meantime that we wait.
Yep. So there was a question on from Tu to elaborate more on the part on CI/CD that was discussed earlier. So I was explaining a bit about our engineering workflow management for planning. Yeah, in the chat as well. So
Yes.
yeah, elaborate more on that as well.
Yeah, you see, so you can also trigger the build. So that you can have, if you do the build in our engineering workflow management solution that we saw for the planning part, but also as a source code management, like every Git, but much better than that because it's integrated in the platform with the test manager. You can build. Trigger the build, manage the source code, check in, deliver in the other application. That's part of the DevOps and the CI/CD activity. Then you can trigger the build from that application. Then you can also see here the build, the record the build inside the test manager. So basically, you have a link between the test, the build that you do, and everything is in the same environment, okay? And you can immediately spot if there is a defect, if there is a bug that comes later, where is the problem? And then you can really speed up the release into your operation, the fix also bugs during operation. In the same time, you see, it has been created 1 minute ago, and we open it, we download, it's just live. Yeah, it's a bit short, 11 pages, but here you have again all the activities that we did during our demos, okay? So it's here basically, yeah, with the test cases like for the others, okay? So that's it from my side for today. I hope you enjoy the webinar. Maybe, I don't know if there is one more question, and I know we already exceeded the time by 8 minutes, but I think it was worth to invest these 8 minutes today. And any other question from the audience, Kelvin?